Julian Nagelsmann loses his first game in charge of Germany, only as his third attempt. That's pretty good. As they fall to Turkey at home. 3-2, Gabby.
So, yeah. So it's 3-2. It could have been worse, by the way.
It should have been worse.
Kevin Trapp, the Trap monster, who I don't think is a very good goalkeeper.
Because Ter Stegen was injured as well.
But he was really good in this game. Yeah, and by the way, when I read it, people were like, oh, look, all these players are out for Germany. I'm like, who's out? Like, okay, Musiala's out. All right, fine. Like,
Ter Stegen is still better than Trapp.
Musiala and Ter Stegen, yeah. But, I mean,
that was it?
You're playing Turkey at home, gobble, gobble. I know Thanksgiving's coming up, but still.
Yeah.
But again, I'm Team Nagelsmann. You want to experiment? You play Havertz at left back.
That's dreadful.
This is not the reason they lost. Maybe it's something to revisit. Maybe it's the 3+1 left back. I don't know. This is the time to experiment. I still don't know about what?
The midfield?
The midfield. The Gundogan Kimmich thing is just like, it's just like people slice through them all the time. And you know what? I'm not blaming Kimmich here. I'm blaming Gundogan.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean,
I just don't think either of them helped the other. It's almost like they never played with each other before. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Look, there's a long way to go, and I do believe, because I'm Team Nagelsmann, I think, give him the players 3 weeks before the Euros, train every day, try new formations, try stuff, not like this once here, once there, 2 training sessions.
We'll see.
They still have Musiala and Zane. They're going to be all right.
Okay.
Can't believe I'm sticking up for Germany. Portugal end their qualifying campaign with a 2-0 win over Iceland, which makes it 10 wins out of 10 for our boy Roberto Martinez.
Yeah.
Jules, I feel like we're kind of sleeping on them.
We're not, but this is the easiest group by far that they fall into. And I'm not saying it's not.
What are you talking about? Iceland, Liechtenstein.
I think they scored like 38 goals or 36 in those 10 games. It's great and well done. They're
like Bayer Leverkusen.
But it's the same team as under Fernando Santos. I think he only called up 2 new players since he took over. So
one of them being my man Horta.
Yeah, but no, they're good. They're very good. They're going to be amongst the favourites at the Euros, and rightly so. That's it.
You know what's different about this team is Fernando Santos isn't there.
No,
Roberto approaches this game very differently.
For sure.
I think he's still going to have a tough call to do with Cristiano.
Yeah, of course. But for now, it's working.
For now, it's working.
Romelu Lukaku scores 4 goals as Belgium beat Azerbaijan 5-0, and who go down to 10 men as well, a bit like Gibraltar. Gab, assuming Harry Kane doesn't score 7 goals tonight against North Macedonia, he will end up as the top goal scorer in the qualifiers.
Yes, or assuming Davide Frattesi doesn't go and score 13 goals against Ukraine.
Let's be serious here.
No, look, it's just a tremendous from him.
4 goals in the first half.
What I liked about this, and it's a different approach, right? We talked about running up the score against the opposition. It's 4-0, 36 minutes, and they say, all right, no mas, right? Leandro Trossard scored one in garbage time at the end. It's a different way to approach things, and one that personally I'm more comfortable with. Speaking of England, they play in a few hours, and these are basically friendlies for them because they're guaranteed first place. But Jules, what did you think of their performance against Malta, specifically Fikayo Tomori at left back? Who do you like more, Fikayo Tomori at left back or Kai Havertz at left back?
At least I'll have a left-footed player at left back, so I'll have Kai Havertz. I felt for Tomori in that game. I think he deserved a chance for England. And then for Southgate to play him at left back is just beyond me. I mean, you know how much I dislike Gareth Southgate as a manager, not as a person. I don't think he's a good manager or head coach at all. And that game against Malta reminded me of it. And I know it was not England's best team. There was no Bellingham, no Rice, no Saka, no whatever you want. But for Jordan Henderson still to play for England right now, really? For Tomori to play at left back, even for Harry Maguire to play in that game, and it was such a poor performance from England. Apart from the second goal, which there was a little bit of something, the rest was dreadful from start to finish. And
what about Harry Kane booked for? They should have had a penalty. Should have been, but forget the score. It's the performance. Look, I know it's difficult.
The performance was terrible.
But what I don't understand is you're playing Malta, right, at home, so you know you're going to have a lot of the ball, right? All right, you don't have a left back. Why are you making Tomori, who, let's face it, Tomori's he's fast, he's athletic, he's intelligent. Yeah. He's not Beckenbauer on the ball. Not only are you playing Tomori out of position, but you're doing it in a game in which you expect him to go and provide the width and run up and down the wing.
So
like
bad.
I don't get it. Like, take on opponents.
I know it's so bad from Southgate. I don't understand.
Play Saka there. He's played there before. Right?
Play Rico Lewis there. It's not like if you don't have any other options, you can easily play somebody else there. Why Tomori? What, you want to see him in that position? It doesn't bring anything to Tomori, to England, or to Southgate. it's just, I hope for him he wins the Euro, Southgate. Because otherwise, I will destroy him so badly. This is such a great squad that they have, and yet he's... Oh, anyway.
Should we give a big shout out to all the other teams who qualified, but we haven't mentioned yet? Woo. Switzerland, Romania, Holland, Hungary, Serbia, Denmark, and of course, Albania with our buddies Sylvinho and Pablo Zabaleta.
Oh, Sylvinho, if you haven't seen it, go and check his celebration after they won the game on Friday night. It was where he high-fives people in the stand, on the first row of the stands. But it's not a high-five like you would give, hey, I'm happy. It's like it smashes the hands. It's like the strongest high-five you would ever see in your life. Because Sylvinho was really happy after what happened to him at Lyon, where he was really disrespected. It lasted, 2 minutes or something. Good. Pablo Zabaleta providing, what Pablo Zabaleta provides. No, he's great for Albania. Good generation, of course. And for all the others. And we still have a few, of course, missing. Like Ukraine and Italy, for example.
We haven't played yet. One of those two. I'm pretty sure one of those two will qualify.
Yeah, and then a lot of playoff finals too and semi-finals too.
I'll say this about Sylvinho and Zabaleta. I'm going to lift a little bit of a lid here, right? As people who work in football and stuff and talk to players, there are some players who are far more approachable than others and who talk a lot more and who generally are more civil and more interesting and have better personalities. And you know what? Because we're humans, people who are nicer, we're generally nicer back to them.
Yeah.
Sylvinho and Zabaleta, when they were players where people always picked up a phone, would always talk to you, they were always fair, they were always available, they were always kind, they never were too high on themselves. They're absolute class acts. Yeah. And I don't think it's a coincidence, by the way, because, game recognizes game. Who did Chichi call to be his assistant with Brazil? Sylvinho.
Yeah.
Because these are also smart people who learn.
That's very true.
So I am delighted that they're doing well. I thought of them as kind of like an odd couple at first, but
it's working. And Pablo Zabaleta, ESPN legend, of course. So, we send all our love. Gab, it's not just the France-Gibraltar game. We've seen some really uneven matches in this international break. Is this a problem? And what can FIFA, UEFA do about it?
So, is it a problem? I mean, I think you open Pandora's box when you let countries that, I say this in the nicest possible way, aren't really countries in the sense that they're not recognized by the United Nations and they're whatever Gibraltar is supposed to be. Why not Jersey? Why not Guernsey? Well, the Faroes, right?
Yeah.
Does it, I was on the show with Craig Burley. He says oh, look, it's all about developing the game, right? This really develops the game in Gibraltar. Think of all those young Gibraltarians who are
they've got the Nations League where they play against teams of their level.
That's fine. No.
And that's then fine. At some point, we have to have qualifiers for Euros where they play against...
I'm wondering if we aren't heading towards a situation, or we shouldn't seriously consider the fact that we should just scrap this World Cup qualifying and figure out some formula involving the Nations League. Involve the Nations League, some playoff games, a pathway. Well, maybe...
Because if the teams of the level of Gibraltar have one qualified for the Euros, then at the Euros, they're going to get battered by everybody like they do in the qualifiers.
Right, but if to qualify for the Euro, we've seen Latvia, we've seen North Macedonia go to a World Cup, so we've seen small teams do it. Yeah. I was surprised. Liechtenstein at one point, they were drawing with Luxembourg at halftime, and Luxembourg had a man sent off, and I said, "Wow, look at this!" And I went back to see, might they get a point? And I'd see Liechtenstein routinely win one or two.
They won
6 games, and I'm like,
and Luxembourg could have qualified. As there was a point where they were still in the running for qualifying.
I don't know what you do with them. It's easy to say, have them do pre-qualifying, and then the problem with pre-qualifying is there's only so many dates in the international calendar, right? They can't pre-qualify.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, as they look, should we just use the Nations League to have the Nations League, have a playoff tournament, and just do it that way? Because I don't enjoy this.
I know.
It doesn't help. This isn't like this isn't like Panama playing Brazil for the only time in their life, and they'll talk about it for generations. No, Gibraltar's going to go and they'll play France again and again, and they'll they'll give up double figures in goals.
No, I know.